Good evening. Welcome to University Dining's Facebook Live event. I'm Brian Jones, Culinary Director.
And I'm Shane Collins. I'm the Director of Residential Dining here. And to start off, we're going to tell you a little bit about our meal plan program coming up for the fall. So just to give you some dates, our move-in day for the Kennesaw campus starts Friday, August the 16th, and that will also be the first day that your fall meal plans will be active for you to start using. Our first day of operation will be 10:30 to 7 on that day, and then for the Marietta campus, move-in day there is Saturday, August 17th. So that's when you'll be able to start utilizing your residential dining meal plan on that campus, same hours on that day, 10:30 to 7. And then our retail operations will actually open up on the first day of class, which is Monday, August the 19th. So to tell you a little bit about our plans, we have two different types of meal plans. We have a residential plan and a commuter plan. So I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about our residential plan. So we have two different tiers for this plan. We have an underclassmen tier, and this is a weekly plan. So we have a weekly 10 and a weekly 12 meal plan that you have the option to choose from if you are an underclassman resident on campus, meaning that you have between 0 to 59 credit hours. So the weekly plans, they actually run from Sunday through Saturday. So what this means is if you have the weekly 12, for example, every Sunday morning you get a fresh set of 12, and you can use that at your own will as you would like over the course of the week. Come that next Saturday, those plans or those swipes for the week will go away, and you'll get a fresh set of 12 for that next Sunday. For the weekly 10 plan, it would work in a very similar way, obviously with just 10 plans for that week. A popular question that we get is, with these new weekly plans, can I still bring guests in? Absolutely, you can still bring your guests in. Just make sure they have their ID with them, but you will be able to use your swipes at your discretion for friends within that weekly allotment that you have, depending on whichever meal plan that you do select. Now, one thing that we do have, which is a great option, is actually our 3-square meal plan. This is a meal plan that we had a couple years ago. Because of popular demand, it's one that we brought back. So this plan actually gets you 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, just like the name tells you, and it does come with $100 dining dollars. The nice part about this plan is if you feel like you're somebody who's going to use the plan more than 12 times a week, this is a great plan for you. It gives you the chance to get in there and to eat in the dining hall more often, and you also get a free t-shirt, you get free membership into our takeout program, and you get one of the nice valid fill cups when you join that program as well. Just a quick note to remember, ad drop actually ends on August 23rd. So if you are going to make a meal plan change from that default plan, which is the weekly 12, just make sure that you do that before the August 23rd deadline, so that way you can have the plan that you think is going to fit you best. So the second thing that we talked about is for our residential plans is now for our upperclassmen. So upperclassmen are those who have over 60 credit hours, and we have two different options for those students as well. We have an Access 50 that comes with $50 dining dollars, and then we also have an Access 20 which comes with $300 dining dollars. That default plan is that Access 50, but keep in mind, upperclassmen, you definitely have the opportunity, if you would like one of the weekly plans or that 3-square, you can definitely upgrade at any time. A lot of our upperclassmen take advantage of that, so that way they just have the convenience of not having to worry about cooking. They can just know that the Commons and our different locations can take care of all of their dining needs for them when they're here. So don't feel like you have to just have that plan. You definitely have the option to upgrade to any of those underclassmen plans or 3-square plans as well. A couple things to keep in mind: same deadline of August 23rd for that when you're going to make that selection if you are going to change as an upperclassman. So the last thing I wanted to touch on is another common question that we get about our residential plan. So if you are a resident on campus, your meal plan is automatically assessed, so that is something that you automatically get for being a resident on campus. Sometimes we do get questions about, can I be exempt from that? We have two different types of exemption. It's a medical exemption and a religious exemption. So if you do have any sort of severe allergies or any religious reason of why you're not able to use those, you do have the opportunity to fill out that if it's needed. So the second part is our commuter meal plan. So our commuter meal plans is for anybody that does not live on campus. Keep in mind that this plan is not automatically assessed to you. This is completely optional to you, but a lot of our commuter students do choose to get this option. You're on campus. Our dining halls are great places to hang out, so a lot of people really like to take advantage of having a meal plan, and it really does save you a lot of money on each entry by buying the plans in bulk rather than paying for an entry rate each time that you come in. Another nice piece about that is we actually have a bonus that's going on right now. This bonus is through August the 15th, so that deadline is coming up, so definitely take advantage of it if you're interested. But if you were to pick an Access 40, which is one of our smaller commuter plans, but it is a very popular one, you will actually get 5 free additional entries added onto that. If you were to choose the 80 plan or Access 80 plan, you would get 10 additional free meal plans added onto that. And then the Access 20, you get 15 free meals added onto that plan as well. So it's definitely a great time to go ahead, and if you know you're going to be eating on campus and you want to save that money, go ahead and take advantage of those additional free plans that you get kind of as a bonus on top of that. And again, the deadline to do that is August the 15th. Another popular question that we get is dining dollars. So what are dining dollars? Why should I have them? What's the point? A good thing to remember about dining dollars is a dollar that you can use and you don't pay tax on when you use it in any of the dining facilities on campus. So you automatically right out of the gate save that 7% each time you make a transaction at our Chick-fil-A or our Starbucks at one of our locations. We also have a dining dollar club where when you come into the Commons or Stingers, one of our 2 main dining facilities on both campuses, you get a discounted rate on that. So every time you come in for lunch or dinner, you get $3 off that door rate just for having dining dollars. So there really is a benefit to having dining dollars and participating in the meal plan in some way. I always recommend to any students, if you're going to eat with us more than 2 or 3 times a semester, definitely get a meal plan, at least get dining dollars. It truly is going to save you money and give you more bang for your buck in that way. So the last part of this is, all right, we've got all this information, how do I purchase the plan? So you're actually going to go to mealplans.kennesaw.edu. That's where you'll go to make your selection. You'll put in your credentials and log in, and then from there, once you get in, you can make your selections. Once you go to checkout, there will be different options of how you would like to pay. Bursar Tender is the most popular option that we get. That allows you to have this charge actually put onto your student account. It normally does take about 24 to 48 hours before it shows up on your account, so don't worry about that, but you can start using it right away. So make sure that once you sign up for that, it does go active for you and you can start using that plan right away. Last thing I want to touch on, a very popular question, and then from there we kind of open it up for questions from the group, is can I use financial aid money for my meal plan? The question is yes on some meal plans or some financial aid do allow you to use it on meal plans, but we always want to refer you to our financial aid office. They'll be able to clarify any specific questions that you have about that. And that's all I've got for us today.
So a couple of questions that we have online are, how does my residential meal plan work for move-in weekend?
Absolutely. So on move-in weekend, we talked about it a little bit earlier, your meal plan will be active when you move in. So you'll be able to start using it right away on the first day that you get here, so you won't have any issues. You don't have to worry about that. So as soon as you come and start dining with us right away.
Okay, and another one is, if I have a residential meal plan, can I add to it during the semester?
Okay, great question. So you can. Keep in mind that if you ever want to add to your plan, whether it be more entries into the dining halls or more dining dollars, you can do that at any time throughout the semester. The only deadline you really have is that add drop time, and that's where you are just making your final selection of your assessed residential meal plan. But any additions can be done at any time.
Okay, and then if a student is commuting, can you just elaborate on the difference between getting dining dollars and an access plan and what the benefits of both are for those students?
Absolutely. It's really going to be about the rate and how often you're going to use each one. So I always stress to people, first thing, just think about your patterns that you're going to be on campus, when you're going to be eating, what your likes are. You know, do you want to come into a place where you can have an all-you-can-eat facility and that is really a cool hangout that you're going to come in with your friends? Do you want to just run by like Starbucks or Chick-fil-A really quick? That'll really help you kind of sway those questions. So if you're wanting to come into those dining halls, definitely get the access plan. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but you save money each time that you come in. Your access plans, depending on whether you're getting the Access 25 or down to our largest plan, which is that Access 120, are really going to range between $8 to $9.60 a plan. If you're coming in and you're just paying the door rate, our door rate is $13.25 for an all-you-can-eat facility. Still a really great rate, but you can see just really some significant savings there if you're going to pick that access plan. And again, you can't always come in with your dining dollars, and you still get that $3 per entry for lunch and dinner that you'll save each time if you use your dining dollars as well.
Is it my turn? Great. Perfect. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the outlets that we have here at University Dining. One of the ones, the ones that I like to talk most about are the dining halls. We have two dining halls located, one in Marietta called Stingers, one in Kennesaw called the Commons. The Commons has 9 different stations to choose from stir fry to short order cooking, down home comfort food, pizza, salad bar, anything that you can imagine. Stingers does a very good job of doing more boutique food, doing high quality from scratch cooking, which exists in both dining halls. A lot of what we focus on is the retail locations. We do a lot of stuff with Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, we do Panda Express. The part of what we like to stand on is our commitment to quality, our commitment to meeting dietary restrictions. We do this in both dining halls. We have the ability to meet with individual students, parents, faculty, and staff to accommodate any kind of dietary restriction, any kind of situation, whatever the issue might be. We give personal tours. We allow for and accommodate any kind of situation. Some of the things to look forward to in the future, we're creating new concepts on the Marietta campus and looking to a really good relationship with Grubhub. I encourage you to go online to download the app for Grubhub. We have offerings in Marietta. We have a special menu that can be ordered online. Pizza specials available here at the Commons, and sandwiches, salads, and items that are available for pickup through that app at Stingers in Marietta. I'd like to take this time to see if we have any questions, anything that we can cover, anything that is available.
Can you talk a little bit further about the menus that are available daily within the dining halls?
I can't. Say it again.
Can you talk a little bit further about the menus that are available daily in the dining halls?
Absolutely. We're standing here in the Commons right now, and the menus that are offered, we do about 75 different menus per week off of one of our stations called Apron Strings. Apron Strings is by far the most popular station. It's focused mostly on comfort food. It might be from the south, north, all over the world, really. The comforting aspect, it's where we serve our fried chicken every Thursday. It's, the very comforting foods that you find at home. We do menus, 3-week rotations on all of our stations. If you added up all the menus, it'd be over 200 menus served every 3 weeks. And those are rotating throughout the year. We do different menus per season. Every fall, winter, spring, and summer, we're changing our menus, so there's never a situation of monotony. We do a very good job of labeling that food with specific allergens. If you have dietary restrictions and you're looking to try to eat in a specific way, whether you're trying to avoid certain, one of the 8 major allergens, we do a good job in labeling the food. Everything's labeled, whether it be vegan, whether it be, contains nuts, or if it contains dairy, eggs, soy, etc. There's a vast quantity of foods available. We do a very good job. We're increasing our selections of vegan this coming semester. We're increasing our selections of vegetarian on all stations. There'll be something for everyone to eat in all stations.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the vegan and vegetarian options?
A lot of the vegan and vegetarian options, one of the things that first comes to mind is over on campus screen, it's our basically our salad station where the primary focus is vegetables or vegetable-based proteins. The focus, there's a daily rotation. We rotate through about 18 different vegan items that are centered on vegetable-based proteins. A lot of those proteins, quinoa, a complete protein, and then several different vegetable combinations that exist that form complete proteins that are, cooked with different techniques, different seasonings, different spices to form a wide variety of items to accommodate that vegan palate.
And can you talk a little bit about the event offerings within the dining halls?
I cannot hear you.
Can you talk a little bit about the events offered within the dining halls?
The events, one of my favorite events is Stinger Steakhouse. I think Stinger Steakhouse is a really good moment for a student, a faculty, staff to get a real steakhouse kind of experience. We focus, a lot of our chefs have a lot of experience in outside restaurants or hotels, and we bring that quality and that perspective to college dining. In that, we offer, it's a wide variety. We do about 11 different menus between Marietta and the Kennesaw campus that exemplify classic steakhouse cooking. 12, 16-ounce steaks, baked potatoes, mac and cheese. We do a steakhouse burger with, homemade onion rings. We do surf and turf. There's lobster mac and cheese. There's, filet mignon with classic béarnaise sauce and steamed asparagus. We just really focus on classics to give them a perspective of that outside dining.
And that's just one of the things we do too that really give you a lot of value to that meal plan, where you can come in and get this really high quality steakhouse type meal for just an additional swipe for our meal plan holders. So you really get a lot of value for being a part of the program. One thing that you get as well, that's a popular question that we get, is when I come into the dining halls, can I take items out? You can. We actually have a takeout program that is another benefit for being a meal plan holder, where you can come in and just for $7 you get a reusable, refillable to-go box. You bring it in, we clean it for you, we make sure everything's clean and sanitized, trade it out for you. But each time, if you're on the go, you definitely come in, fill that up, and just use your swipe for that as well.
And how does somebody join the takeout club?
So all you have to do is come into either the Commons or Stingers to our meal plan office, and you'll just ask to join. You'll sign up, we'll get you your first token, and it's just as easy as that, and you can just use your dining dollars for that $7 charge.
Can you explain why we went to a weekly plan for residential students, and do commuter students, do their access plans expire weekly?
Great question. So the reason we went to the weekly plans is we found that a lot of the students were were using those plans up too quickly, some of them, so we wanted to help kind of spread that meal plan out, help manage the times that they were being used. So that's really the reason that we changed it. Your overall entries that you get, if you're thinking of the plans that we had last year, your overall entries that you get are the same. Now we've just taken and broken them into a weekly pattern for you. It helps to make sure that when the end of the semester comes, when you're studying for finals, things like that, that you're not out of meal plans. It helps to spread them out. And as we talked a little bit earlier, if you ever want to add on to that, you definitely have that opportunity for sure. Now for the commuter meal plans, they are not weekly. The access plans, you get all of those plans up front. So if you get the Access 80, for example, that's going to get you in between about 4 to 5 times per week, and it's really going to be up to you to manage those times as you're coming in. But one of the nice things about the Access plan, if you do find yourself only 2/3 of the way into the semester and you're running low on them, you can always add a smaller Access plan to help get you through the rest of that semester.
And can you explain one more time about how residential students can add to their plan throughout the semester if they choose to do so?
Absolutely. So there's a couple different ways that you can do that. We always welcome you to come into our meal plan office so that way we can help interact, help answer any questions that you have, especially give recommendations. That's what we get a lot is, well, how do I know what's the right size? I don't want to get too much. I don't want to get too little. So definitely come in, give us the chance to be able to talk through that with you. Always look at our dining website, so it's dining.kennesaw.edu. That's where you can see our different plans and the different options that you have. And then once you're ready to make that selection, if you don't do it in person, you just go to our mealplans.kennesaw.edu website, and that's where you can make that final selection to add on to the plan you have.
It's one of the things too I'd like to add on to that is the accessibility is just simply walking in and having that communication, and if you want more, you can get it. And that accessibility also exists with the culinary team.
Absolutely.
Finding a white coat. Whenever you come into the Commons or you come into Stingers, if you have a dietary restriction or if you have a request, we really love to get feedback. We really love to hear what you have to say. If you have a bad experience or if you have a good experience, we like the feedback nonetheless. The white coat is what you look for. We can find any answer to any food. We can really solve any problem right there, knowing the information as you have it.
And if a student wants to bring a guest in, can you talk a little bit about a guest policy?
Absolutely. So we talked about it a little bit earlier, but for sure, anytime somebody wants to bring a guest in, you can, and you're always more than welcome to bring someone in. Just keep in mind that is going to take away from your total number of meals. So if you're on a weekly plan, just make sure that you're budgeting that properly. Same thing with the access plans. But really, the only kind of requirement that we have for that is just the guests you're bringing in, that they have a form of ID. It can be a driver's license. They don't necessarily have to be a student here, or a KSU ID. Either are perfectly fine. That's the only thing that we require, and that's just for everybody's safety. We just like to keep track of everybody who comes in and out.
And can you also go over how move-in weekend will work again for residential students?
Absolutely. So on move-in weekend, if you are, obviously you're moving in, you're going to be a resident here, so you're going to automatically have a meal plan. So on that Friday, August the 16th, your meal plan will already be active. You'll have it, you'll be able to come in and start dining with us, so you can use that right away. Now, come that next Sunday, you're going to get a fresh group of meals, especially if you're an underclassman and you're on that weekly plan. So really those first couple of days are bonus meals where we take care of those meals for you, and your first full week really starts on that Sunday, the day before the first day of class.
Someone wants to know whether the $7 for the takeout club is weekly or every time they use it, or is that for the entire semester?
Good question. So that is actually for the entire semester. So it's just a one-time $7 charge that gets you in for the entire semester.
It's a really good sustainable vessel to use. We recycle those, we wash them, we sanitize them, and they're here ready to use once you bring back the dirty one.
And someone wants to know whether a guest can purchase their own entry instead of using a student's meal plan?
Absolutely. We do have the availability for you to use a credit card when you come in. Our 2 dining halls do not accept cash, so just make sure you have a credit card with you. We also take what is called K-Cash, which is another form of dollar on campus as well. But as we mentioned earlier, I definitely recommend getting an access plan or those dining dollars just for the cost savings in and of themselves.
Brian, can you talk a little bit further about the retail options available on campus?
Absolutely. We have on both campuses, we have Starbucks, we have Stacks, which is our deli concept. On our Kennesaw campus, we have Panda Express. We're in development of, putting in another soon to be released top secret concept. And in Marietta, we're looking at doing an on-the-fly kind of a takeaway cafe. We have Hisho Sushi that are on both campuses, located in the Student Center, and that is pretty much covers it. And Chick-fil-A. It was kind of so obvious that it just left my memory.
So can you also just go into a little bit more about using dining dollars on campus?
Absolutely. So dining dollars really gives you flexibility anywhere in any of the dining facilities on campus. You have the opportunity to use them in any of what we call our retail concepts that Chef Brian was talking about a little bit earlier. You can go in there and use those a la carte, however you would like to. We also have markets on both campus, which kind of gives you a convenience store style where you can use those. And really just the biggest benefit to that is that those dollars are tax-free. So when you make that purchase, you're saving that 7% on that sales tax each time. So it's just a great way to save you money each time you're making a purchase there. And we also do have a bonus structure on our dining dollars as well. So depending on the size of the plan you get, we also give free additional bonus dining dollars as well. So we try to always just take care of our students and our staff in any way that we can. And those bonus range anywhere from 5 to 12%, just depending on which dining dollar packet you choose.
Can you go over the bonus structure for the commuter access plans that are good through August 15th?
Absolutely. So to recap those, we have 3 different plans that you have the opportunity to get bonus entries to your commuter access plan. So the first one is our Access 40. This is one of our most popular plans for commuter students. This is the one I recommend. If you don't know where to start with this one. It gets you a couple meals a week. It's a good plan to start off with until you kind of figure out your patterns, but most students are able to easily use it up over the course of the semester. And with that, you would get 5 additional free entries as long as you're making that purchase, remember, before August the 15th. So that's your deadline where you want to make sure you get that done before Thursday, August the 15th. If you choose the Access 80, we give you an additional 10 free swipes. So you'd pay for 80 and we'd give you 90. And then for the Access 120, we give you an additional 15. So same idea, you pay for 120, but we're going to actually load 135 on there for you.
Can you explain a little bit further how the weekly plans work for residential underclass students? And whether how the what happens to the entries at the end of each week?
Absolutely. So the week runs from Sunday to Saturday. So every Sunday morning you're going to get reloaded with whichever plan you have, either the weekly 12 or the weekly 10. We'll use the weekly 12, for example. You'll get 12 meals every Sunday. Now come Saturday, when that week is rolling out, if you do have 1 or 2 meal swipes that are left on there, we definitely want you to use all of those up. For a weekly 12, most of our students have no problem using that weekly 12. It seems to be a very popular threshold where it's not too many, but it's also enough to take care of their needs while they're in here. But if you find yourself in a situation where you do have 1 or 2 left over, those do fall off, but you get refreshed with a new 12 on that next Sunday.
And back to the Takeout Club, can you address it's $7 to join the club, and then how does it work each time they enter?
They swipe in, they exchange their container for a new one, and fill it up with food. It's that simple.
So they use one of their entries into the dining
Yep.
hall.
It's just an
and
initial
take it away.
$7 to put a kind of a commitment to the container.
And what are the hours of the dining halls?
Great question. So throughout the week, Monday through Thursday, we're open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday, open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then on Sunday from 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Now there are one things you'll want to make sure that you keep in mind is when we create the meal plan for each semester, we do take breaks into consideration. So a question that we get sometimes is, well, hey, how come you're closed? We'll use Thanksgiving for an example since we're coming up in the fall semester. Why are we closing down for Thanksgiving? You know, can I not use my meal plan during that time? You cannot use your meal plan during that time because we do close down since it is a school closure. But keep in mind that you're also not paying for that week. So when we factor in how many weeks are in the semester, we take that into consideration. So we never want anybody to feel like, oh, I'm paying for that week and I can't use it. You're not. We've already factored that into the total price and the total number of meals, knowing that we're going to be closed down for a week at Thanksgiving, you know, knowing we're going to be closed down for a week at spring break, those kind of times where we have school closures.
So if my student has a weekly 12 plan, what can I do to ensure that they have entries into the dining hall for the full week?
Absolutely. So there's a couple options. The first one that I recommend is if you feel like, hey, I know my son or daughter is going to use this more than 2 times a day, 6 days a week, or 3 times a day, 4 days a week, however you calculate out the math, I definitely recommend upgrading to our 3 Square. It's a great plan. It's only another $250, and it gives you that assurance that at 3 days a week, 7 days a week, I know that they're taken care of. It's our best value per meal entry, so it's definitely the best bang for your buck on that meal plan as well. So if that's a concern that you have, that's the first recommendation that I would give to you is definitely take a look at that 3 Square. It's a great option. That's really why we created it as that upgrade option for people who felt that that they would need a little bit more or just wanted to take advantage of a little bit bigger plan.
What dining options are available on campus during the weekend?
During the weekend. So on the weekends, our 2 main dining facilities are open, the Commons and Stingers. I talked a little bit about the weekend hours as well. So on those hours or on those days, on Saturday we're open from 10:30 to 7, and then on Sunday we're open from 10:30 to 9. We do have a lot of students who have other activities off campus and things like that, but we always want to make sure we have something available for you to come in, so you feel like you truly get that usage 7 days a week and have that opportunity to use it if you would like to. But that you're not forced to if you have something else going on as well. One thing we do offer as well, which I didn't touch on earlier when we were talking about meal plans, are different faculty and staff meal plans. So definitely any faculty or staff members who are tuning in and listening know we have different plans for you. Great opportunities there. They kind of work the same way as our student meal plans do, in the fact that they give you a better price point per entry. They help you save money and really just give you a chance to when you're here at work, you're here already. If you're not wanting to pack your lunch that day, you can come in and we've got you taken care of.
As a student, can I use my meal plans for my family?
Absolutely. So your meal plan is yours to use, so you can definitely bring guests in. You can use dining dollars to pay for guests. You can use your meal swipes to pay for guests. The only rule that we have, which we talked about a little bit earlier, is just make sure that any of those guests just have some valid form of an ID that we can use just to have record of all of our guests. But that's really our only request. We want you to feel that your meal plan is yours and it's flexible for you to use how you see fit.
And can commuter students purchase residential meal plan options?
Yes, absolutely. So they definitely have the options to select from any of our meal plans. So don't feel like because I'm a commuter I can't have a weekly plan or I can't have a 3 square. We actually have quite a few students, especially ones that live in very close to the school. So they may not be a KSU resident, but they live in one of the apartment complexes that are very close. That they take advantage of the same residential plans that our residents do, just because of the convenience and the proximity that they are to KSU.
And if a commuter student already purchased a plan and wants to make any changes, how would they do so?
So if you've already purchased a plan and you're wanting to change it, there's a couple of ways. You can put in requests through our dining website. So you can start there, going to dining.kennesaw.edu. As I mentioned earlier, we definitely always want the chance to interact with you personally. So come in and meet with us in the meal plan, and you can also manually fill out a meal plan contract form, and we can help get that updated or adjusted for you as well.
And how long do residential students have to make changes to their meal plans or to upgrade to the 3 square that you mentioned earlier?
Absolutely. So any changes to your assessed residential meal plan, you want to make sure that you do before August 23rd, which is that deadline for ad drop. So any changes that are done just need to be done before that date.
Brian, can you address a question about lactose intolerance?
Absolutely. We can definitely accommodate anyone that's lactose intolerant. I would first recommend to speak with a chef to discuss your allergen, whatever that allergen may be. Dealing with something like lactose intolerance is very, it's a hard thing to deal with for the person dealing with it. We have a great respect for that. I recommend setting up a time. You can email me, you can come to the meal plan office, reach out, let's set up a time to simply walk whatever facility you're going to visit most often. And I can go station by station and show you what is available, what kind of combinations we can create. Since you're not going to be eating a lot of that dairy, there are hundreds of different combinations of foods to satisfy your needs.
And someone would like to see a little bit of a close-up of the takeout container.
All right. Bring it up there.
You gonna take it?
Yeah.
Can you not zoom in?
I'll stay here.
Yeah, I think you better stay there.
See, opens and closes.
It's a traditional 9x9. It is a simple to-go box. It's more sturdy. It's durable. It's the 3 sections, so your food doesn't touch if that's what bothers you. Mm-hmm. And it holds about 2 pounds of food. Sometimes I see probably more fitting in that, depending on what it is. And we don't weigh it. It's fill it up, take it out, enjoy.
I've seen 5 or 6 pieces of pizza go in there,
right.
So it's whatever your preference is.
Yeah.
If you can fit it and close the top, it's yours. So we talked a little bit earlier too about our valid fill program. So one thing to keep in mind when you come into the Commons or Stingers is that when you come in, we want you to have all you care to eat. If you do choose to take advantage of the to-go box program, we definitely would recommend you taking advantage of our valid fill program as well. So that way you have the opportunity to take drinks out as well. So that way when you leave, you get your full meal, can take it out with you as you go. So it's a great program to get involved in, along with our to-go food program as well.
Is the valid fill only available in the dining halls?
So the valid fill can actually be used in the retail locations as well. So in our student center, we do have a machine there where students can stop by and fill it up in that area as well. So it gives you multiple different places on campus to be able to use it.
Can you explain how students can purchase the valid fill cup, where, how much it is?
Absolutely. So so for the Valid Fill program, you would actually just come into the meal plan office, and we'll be able to get you rung up there. It's just $29.99 for the entire semester. So once you've got it, you're all set, and that does include those free refills at the location in the student center, and you can use it when you come into the dining hall to take it out. And keep in mind that, as we talked about a little bit earlier, if you do choose to upgrade to that 3-square plan, your to-go program and your Valid Fill program will come free to you.
And how does a student sign up for the Takeout Club?
So for the Takeout Club, it's just as easy as coming into either the Commons or Stingers, stopping at our meal plan office, and we'll be able to get you signed up.
And how many entries into the dining hall do they need to use to fill up a container?
So just one. So that's the nice part. As you come in, you just do one swipe, and this is yours. As much as you can get in here, you can take it out with you.
And what if a student wants to eat in the dining hall and take a container to go?
And that's a good question. We actually do have that happen a lot. So for that, you would come in and you would actually just swipe twice. You would let the cashier know at the front, hey, I'm gonna eat here, but then I'm also gonna fill this up so I have it for a late night snack later, or whatever the case may be. We'll go ahead and swipe you twice at the door, and you're all taken care of.
And can students fill the Valid Fill with coffee and fresh smoothies from the grind?
So the Valid Fill is just for our freestyle Coke machines. It's not really meant to for hot coffees and smoothies and things like that. So it is just for our Coke program. One of the nice things about it is it is double insulated as well. So when you have something cold in there, it'll stay cold for you on a hot day. The ice isn't going to melt as much since the heat of your hand's not going to be right on it. And it truly is a program that a lot of students on campus take advantage of. In particular, our residents who dine with us a lot. So I would definitely recommend it to anybody who is interested.
Brian, can you talk a little bit about sourcing food?
Absolutely. We take a lot of pride in where we get our food from. Given that we prep from scratch, and most items outside of our deli meats and those items are prepared in-house from scratch. The food that we get, it's from local farms. We have an ongoing relationship with a handful of different farmers, artisans, craftsmen that inform us of those items as they're creating, as they're growing them, as the seasons change. We're getting availability lists from them and updating our menus seasonally. That's one reason why we change our menus to the seasons. Most college campuses change their menus per semester. We follow a little bit more of a seasonal menu, changing it 4 times a year. And a lot of the stations have a weekly rotation, a 3-week rotation, so it's actually changing more. So when we come back, if we've done that rotation twice, we see that something's kind of fallen out of season, we can actually replace that with something that's coming into season very quickly and easily.
Shane, can you clarify the students who have weekly plans for the 16th and 17th during move-in? Do the students get 10 or 12 meals starting that week?
So yes. So when you move in, automatically you're going to be loaded up with those 10 or 12 meals on that Friday. Now we know it's a short week because it is going to reset again on Sunday. You're more than likely not going to be able to use all of those 10 or 12 meals. So that's why that week is a week that we cover to make sure all of our residents are taken care of. It's really a bonus week, so don't feel like, oh, I need to use all these 10 or 12 meals. Your meals, as far as what your meal plan is covering for you, really doesn't start until that summer. So I kind of explain it to people as a bonus week. It's not a the week
losing
where,
a week.
yeah, you don't need to feel like, oh, I need to use all these up because I paid for them. No, the meals that you pay for aren't going to start until that Sunday. And the reason why is because there's students moving in over the course of the entire weekend. So to make sure everybody feels that they're being treated fairly and are getting full value for their plan, that's why we've set it up in that way. So it's a great question, but it's not a time where you're going to be wasting meals that you've paid for. Those are on us. We've got you taken care of.
If I want coffee to go from the dining hall and I'm taking out a container, what do I do?
So when you come in, the cashiers do have to-go coffee cups up front. So obviously if it's breakfast, you're taking your breakfast to go with you, or if it's the middle of the day and you just need a pick-me-up to go with you as well, just ask the cashier. We do have coffee cups up there that can handle the heat better than these. So that way you can take coffee to go with you as well if that's something you would like.
When does lunch service begin?
So lunch service normally starts anywhere between 10:30 and 11:30, just depending on the stations. Different stations will start to gear up at different times, and a lot of times we'll even kind of play it by ear depending on the students as well.
Yeah, it really is. If we see the crowds forming around, there is always something to eat during business hours. Several of our stations, Piatti that serves the Italian classics and pizza, Campus Green that serves the salads and all the vegan items, Highway 41 that does the short order cooking with the hamburgers, the grilled cheese, hot dogs, Miso Caliente that does more south of the border, and Stir Fry Station. Those are all open right at 10:30 for lunch. They stay open from 10:30 to close. Apron Strings, which is our main comfort food station, starts transitioning at 10:45 to 11:15 to go into lunch, because breakfast is so popular later on in the day that we see more of a need and a desire for breakfast a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
Can parents dine for free on move-in day?
So on move-in day, parents, you can't come in for free, but you can come in with your students. They can use their meal plan swipe for you. So absolutely come and eat with us on day, and have lunch and dinner on your students. They've got their meal plan now. So I think that's going to be all the questions that we're going to take today. So definitely thank you for joining us. Just a couple of reminders. Keep in mind that August 15th deadline for any of those commuter plans if you'd like to get those bonus meals. And if you have any other additional questions, please reach out to us. The best way to reach us is through our website, dining.kennesaw.edu. And we appreciate you joining us today.
Don't hesitate to reach out.